Today's guest conversation is with Tyler LaTorre, head baseball coach at Pepperdine University. Here's episode 43 of the Baseball Forward podcast. Coach LaTorre, am I saying that right?
Yeah, you got it right.
Coach, how are you today?
I'm doing good. We got the sun's out in Malibu and had a little bit of rain yesterday, so the field's drying out, and we've got practice later today. So 1 week from the season starting, so can't be more excited.
Who are you guys opening up with?
We've got the University of Utah coming in for 4.
No problem. Sweep those boys.
Yeah.
Unless they're on the podcast next week. Hey, I want to say this real quick. Man, just prayers, thoughts, what you guys are dealing with out there in that part of the country. Can't even imagine, man. And know that do you have players that were affected by the fires, homes? Like, give us a little insight into the catastrophe that happened, if it affects any of your guys.
Yeah, I think it affects the whole area. We right before the break in December, actually during finals week, we had a pretty serious fire, pretty much engulf all of campus. Around campus, nothing on campus, none of the buildings, none of our students were affected. All of the vegetation and a lot of the vegetation around campus got pretty much burned. All of our players and students went home for break. Right in the middle of finals, they canceled finals. So fast forward another 3 weeks and the Palisades fires hit. School wasn't started back up yet. So thankfully none of our students or players were back when the Palisades fire hit, the Franklin fire. But a lot of the fuel and the vegetation that would have kept that fire heading north was already burned by the fire in December. So there's a lot of devastation about 5 miles south of us, and a little bit further down. A lot of people lost a lot. But thankfully for Pepperdine, for our players, for our families, that December fire kind of blocked that off.
Wow.
There's a lot of things to be thankful for. Pepperdine, the university, we were a staging staging site for a lot of firefighters, a lot of first responders. The gas companies used our parking lots as staging site for a lot of their people coming in and out of work and clocking in and out. So we try to use our our luck of not being affected by the fire as something that we could use for good.
Wow. Just, from Dallas, you see it on the
Thank
news,
you.
and it's apocalyptic, and it's like, man,
Yes.
you know what though? The cool thing is, Americans are resilient, and baseball is a beautiful game. And I think you guys have an opportunity to go do some good things this year and kind of take people's minds off of all the junk and the ugly that happened. Is that kind of a mindset as you, dude, we're a week away from opening day. Is that your mindset? Hey, let's be a light for the community.
No doubt. In my opening press conference, I used a Bible verse, Matthew 5:16. Let your light shine, so that others may see your good deed and glorify His name in heaven. That first week back of school, our Pepperdine went online classes. A lot of our guys were back. Some guys weren't, so we couldn't start practice because we didn't have the full team. And I told the guys, Utah's not going to care that we didn't have our full team back and they weren't practicing. Baseball's not going to care. But we can make it about our story, and we can make it about the time that we do spend together. And so our guys are, just like you said, our guys are resilient. I think Americans are resilient. And the more time that we spent together, the more time that we figured out that, a lot of people had it a lot worse than we did. And all we can do is allow ourselves to play this great game that we love, but allow, first responders and people in the Palisades area to come watch us play, and let them know that, even though they're going through hard times, if they can come watch us play, or we can do something for them, to get their minds off of the devastation, let's do it. Let's bind together, and come together, for something that's bigger than just baseball. I think that's really important in times like these. It's just, is to come together and prove to a lot of people that it's bigger than just baseball.
Talking with Tyler LaTorre, Pepperdine University head baseball coach on the Baseball Forward podcast today. Tyler, dude, I'll just say it. Pepperdine. I'm a baseball savant. I grew up and I loved. I started to fall in love with the game of baseball because of college baseball in the late '80s and early '90s. And boy, I remember Pepperdine going to Omaha, taking care of business out there. And Pepperdine is one of the prettiest campuses in all of the country, and it is easily one of the best backdrops. I believe it's left center overlooking the Pacific Ocean.
Absolutely.
Are you kind of like, hey, and I'll summarize who you are to the audience in your first year at Pepperdine. He's a winner, guys. Like, go look at his resume. The dude wins. He wins. So I'm kind of like, I think we got a storm brewing here in Pepperdine, and this is my request as a baseball fan. I need Pepperdine to be really good at baseball this year so that can make my old heart feel good about the college baseball. Can you do it?
I think it's happening, and just like any other team that's and I know it's cliche, but it's brick by brick, it's step by step. Unfortunately, and one of the reasons why I'm here is Pepperdine fell on hard times. The culture, the winning culture, kind of left for a little while. The pride in what the legacy that had left. There's not a lot of teams in college baseball that have national champions written on their outfield wall. I'm sitting here in our dugout and I'm looking out at the ocean. I can see the ocean right now. I'm looking out in our left field wall. I can see the ocean. I can see 1992 national champions. Not a lot of teams have that. But that's gone away. And so our players, our coaching staff, our athletic department, our president of our university want that changed. And it's going to be a slow process. My goal this year is that every time that our players walk into our clubhouse, they feel like they have an opportunity to win. And I don't think that that's happened here the last few years. And that's going to take a little bit of change. And no matter if we, won the day before or lost the day before, our goal is that every time our players walk into the clubhouse each and every day, they feel like they have an opportunity to win. And that's a winner's mentality. And that's something that we're continuing to change. And it's not something that happens overnight, but the culture takes time. But the mindset that's something that can change instantly. And that's something that I see in our players every single day. The mindset has changed and the culture is starting to change. And so that goes just into those little things. Everybody talks about little things, and I don't think it's little things. I think all things matter. It's the way that we clean up the cages. It's the way that we take our primary leads. It's the way that we carry ourselves on campus and communicate with professors. It's the way that the opposition sees us and fears us. It's the way that we roll up the tarp and we do it the right way. It's all those things that add up. We got a great message from our assistant coach Logan Robbins yesterday. He was talking about when you come down to Selection Sunday and they have the first 4 in and they have the first 4 out.
Yep.
And all 8 of those teams, it's splitting hairs.
Yep.
And so if you go and you're one of those first 4 out, and you have an argument about being one of those first 4 in, and you go back and you're like, man, I really wish we would have read that ball and dirt read, and then we would have scored that 1 run that would have won us that game instead of that loss.
Wow.
Like those are those things that all add up. And it starts with the culture change, and it starts with the mindset flipping in an instant, and then slowly the winning culture starts to creep in. And we're working towards that. So getting back to your original question, the change is happening.
Yeah.
Is it going to happen this year? I think it is. Is it going to happen in the win-loss column? I really hope so. But I do think that aside from wins and losses, I think that the winning culture is going to change here.
Coach LaTorre, your first year at Westmont in 2023 as a head coach, you won the NAIA national championship in your first year. I'm excited for you. And I want to say this again, like, I want you to know, hey, I live in Dallas, Texas. I love the game of baseball, college. And I want you to know, from where I sit, Pepperdine, nothing but respect and love, man. That's a program, and you got something good going. I want to know this. So when you're day one and you start kind of walking around campus in Malibu, are you diagnosing what the problems are? Like, I don't want to say problems because I know you're a positive guy, but like,
Sure.
are you making diagnosis, like a diagnosis, and say, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Yep.
We might need to talk to me how that kind of starts.
Yeah, it was mostly, it started a little bit on my interview,
Wow.
of walking around campus, being around the people, and just like you growing up, Pepperdine is elite. The program used to be elite. I played against Pepperdine when I was a player. Um, I grew up wanting to go to Pepperdine,
Wow.
and it had this like upper echelon. It had the USC feel. It had the Arizona State feel. It had the Stanford feel. Is when
Right.
you grow up on the West Coast. Um, and when I got here, you can just see some of the just the facility. Just it didn't feel like a place for development. It didn't feel like a place
Wow.
for it didn't feel like a place of excellence. The batting cages. The first one of the first things we did is we ripped out the old turf and we put new turf in there. We got new L screens in there. The old L screens had, the holes were being covered up by medicine balls, and there was old baseballs in there
Oh,
with baskets that were just that had holes in them, and that they just the cages were just like it was almost like, hey, I don't want you to come hit, hey players, I don't want you to come hit here in me.
yeah.
Um, and so we changed that. Like guys are down there hitting right now. It's 10:15 in the morning. We don't have class until 2:15. And guys are down there hitting.
Yeah,
Like
baby.
I don't think that happened here the last few years. The clubhouse, dirty, dingy. There was a refrigerator in there that was moldy and just it wasn't upper echelon. We cleared that thing out. There was a broken ping pong table, got rid of that. There's more space. We got some TVs so that the guys can hang out and be around each other. We built a nutrition room so that guys are snacking during the day and just making sure that they're up with their nutrition levels, and practice can get long sometimes, and guys can go from they sometimes we have guys come straight from class and come straight to practice. They need to be able to fuel themselves. And then we started taking care of the field. We got our coaching staff works on the field. Our players work on the field. If you take care of the field will take care of you. And I think it's
Absolutely.
important that our guys understand that, you know, uh, what you put into it, you'll get out of it. And we started taking care of the field, and we started taking care of our facilities, and we started taking care of those little things. And um, we started taking pride in what we have, and it's not an entitlement thing anymore. It's not, oh, I'm going to leave it for someone else to do it. Like we're
Wow.
going to take care of it. It's I'm bringing my lunch pail, I'm bringing my trash can, we're going to take care of it ourselves. And that was something that over the course of the first couple weeks that we got the job here, was just cleaning that stuff up, and you can see the players start picking up on that stuff, and now it's starting to roll. And now you can see the play on the field just start to elevate because guys are around each other more. They're talking baseball. They're talking our
Yes.
lingo. They're around each other in the cage. They're around each other in the bullpen. They're watching baseball videos in the clubhouse. They're eating properly. They're starting to get more physical, and
Yeah,
so
baby. Let's
it's
go.
just starting to just be like this converging storm, um, of excitement. But it's like you said, it was an uphill battle, but now it's an exciting uphill battle now.
Talking with Coach LaTorre of Pepperdine today on the Baseball Forward podcast. Coach, when I say I'm listening to you, and the phrase that comes into my mind is how you do anything is how you do most things, how you do everything. So
Absolutely.
when you go in there, what does that statement mean to you and your guys?
What it means to me is I have to walk the walk, and I can't just talk the talk.
Mm,
You will see me if you came out to practice. You will see me rake the lines. You will see me pick up trash. You will see me throw BP. You will see me in the cage hitting with the guys. You will see me hitting
yeah.
fungos. You will see me laugh with the guys. You'll see me cry with the guys. You will see me tell our players that I love them. You'll see me, you know, there's no job that's under me. I want to be here for our guys. I want our guys to know that I'm going to push them and hold them accountable to the standards and the expectations that they said they wanted to do. You know, when you say you want to be a championship level team, like you can't just say that and wait to the conference tournament and then turn it on.
That's right.
Like it's something like if you want to be a champion or something, it started back in the fall with having championship level practices and championship level sleep and championship level nutritional values and weightlifting routines and so all those things like all of it matters to me because it does all matter to me. I love my family. I have an 8-year-old daughter and my wife. We just celebrated 13 years in October. Like they come out to practice. My players know I'm a family man. They know that family comes first. Like it's everything matters. Like they all know who I am. I'm authentic to myself. And I don't change because of my mood, or I don't change because we're playing well or we're playing poorly. I'm the same person. Now, will I get on some guys because they're falling short of the standards? Yes. Will I call them up to our standard? Yes. Will I talk to certain players differently than other players? Yes. There's steps in the process. I don't talk to a freshman the same way I talk to a senior that's been, playing this game for 4 years already and is 22, 23 years old. So, and I let players know that, I don't want, when you say one thing to one player, it could mean something totally different to that other player. So, to a different player. So when you say all things matter, like it does, it truly means that to me. And, you know, from our athletic director to our president to our facilities to our grounds crew to our assistant coaches to our student managers, they all mean something to me. Now, the word value to me means two different things. Okay. So obviously the Friday night starter, the closer, the starting shortstop, the starting catcher, they have a lot of value to the team. Would you agree?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So they're higher value to the team. But the bullpen catcher, the fourth string shortstop, the backup catcher, they probably have a little less value to the team on the baseball side. But for me, their value to me as a person is equal.
Wow.
So we probably get into this, but the 34-man roster that we're going to have to get into here in the next couple of years.
Yep.
That's awesome to me. I want a personal relationship that goes greater than just baseball with all of my players.
Yes.
I value their relationship over everything that baseball has to do with it. So the value that they have for the players' value to me as a person is so much higher than the value on the field. When you do that, you get the most out of them on the field. When you make it about them and getting to know them, and you build trust within the player to coach relationship, when you get player to player relationship and you create belief in that, you create something that is so special that ultimately as a coach, you get to go watch baseball on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You just get to sit here and, hey, go play, guys. Go play.
Watch them becoming pros, doing what you do.
Yep.
I want to ask you this. Like,
Yeah.
You have a light in you, man. And you said Matthew 5:16, and I think it's very important because this is the Baseball Forward podcast. It's about baseball.
Yep.
It's about elevating next generation, but it's about leadership. It's about culture. We want to help people. We want to motivate people. I'm a Christian.
Amen.
The older I get, I wrote it down. I do this. I have a laminated sheet for every month. Okay. My February daily non-negotiables. But here I want to share this because I think someone could use it. John 15:5. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. And the message was be the branch.
That was on the Greg Crochelle Greg Crochelle podcast a couple weeks ago.
Dude, I go to Life Church in McKinney. So yeah. Hey, so I want to say this, like, I'm on my journey. I'm a 45-year-old man, and I love my journey. I love my family. I love my kids. But I love the journey that I'm on. I'm getting this sense from you, man. I would have loved playing with you. I would have respected. I knew what I was going to get from you. I would love playing for you. I feel like that has to come because of a standard that is away from baseball. Am I right about that?
Yes, sir. You build so the players that go and play on the field, they know that they are in a position to succeed because I'm going to put them in a position to succeed. But that is built because of a body of work, not only in practice but in their daily lives, that has allowed them to build up a um, enough equity in this program to earn the right to go out onto the field.
Sure.
So, for instance, if I put someone in there in the game, so let's take, for instance, a pitcher that doesn't do things right off the field, is staying up late, is sending Snapchats at 4 o'clock in the morning, out partying, and his teammates know that. What kind of confidence are his teammates going to have in him?
Excellent point.
And whether, even if he does a good job, they're still not going to have the same confidence in them to do it over and over and over
You're
again.
not paying the price. You're not paying the price.
Exactly.
You're doing it your way. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and to that same token, I'm not going to put in, if I put in a hitter into the box, that anytime that we put a breaking ball machine on the field, he swings and misses constantly. And I put him in and start him as a DH against the guy that throws 70% breaking balls, and he goes out there and strikes out 4 times. Whose fault is that? It's mine. I put him in that situation to go and fail. So he's the one that's bowing his head and feel like he let the team down. I let the team down. So the players that are out there on the field competing know that they are in a position to succeed because I'm putting them in a position to succeed. And I know that when I do that, I'm putting the team success ahead of the player success. I'm putting the program over everybody else's, my own success. I'm not coaching because of me. I'm doing it for the players. But I can sleep at night knowing that I had the right guy on the mound, the right guys on defense, the right guy in the box, based on their preparation, their equity that they built up in the program.
Love that.
And I'm okay with the outcome.
I think it's so important for young guys that are going to listen to this to understand preparation and equity and what that really means, because the best, I'm going to ask you this, and I assume I know what the answer is, but the guy that you know what you're going to get day in and day out, that's the guy that you can kind of count on, right? The one that blows around in the wind, you don't know what to expect from him.
Yeah,
that's really hard to trust a guy. So when you say building equity, like the guys you're listening to this, it's you have 20 workouts, go to 20 workouts. Don't be late. Tell me how I build up equity because you're an old school guy and you don't mess around and you're a leader. So how do I build up equity with a coach like you?
First and foremost, you're a good teammate. Like I want servant leaders. I want someone that's going to put the name on the front of their jersey before the name on the back of their jersey.
Yes, sir.
Building up equity is ultimately doing what's best for the team when your personal success is what's going to define you, and not allowing outside distraction to pull you away from it. And there's a lot of outside distraction, whether it's parents, whether it's social media, whether it's why aren't you playing, friends, the misery is I don't know what is that term,
misery loves company.
Misery loves company. I'll get on a player and then I can see him go over to the far end of the bench and, oh, he's just on you. No, what our players do is they squash that really quick. Like, no, you took your secondary lead not good enough. Those little things. Like from my experience, if people go and look at my resume, they can see that I played 10 years of professional baseball. Like I didn't play 10 years of baseball. I got to watch a lot of baseball.
That's right.
I was a backup catcher. I watched a lot of games.
Well
And
said.
so I see the game differently. And a lot of people in baseball, they watch the ball when it goes into play. I don't watch the ball. I watch the base runner. I watch the way that the catcher backs up. I watch the way that the pitcher goes and backs up first. I want to see how that tandem of the shortstop and second baseman go out there for that double cut. I'm not watching the ball. So I'm watching all those little things, and our players quickly figure out that I'm watching them on every single thing. And it's not because I'm big brother and I want to catch them doing something wrong. I'm praising them for doing things right. And so when you build up equity, you build up you're building up confidence, and you're building up confidence in your teammates, and you're being able to build each other up, and you're being able to hold each other accountable to what you say you want to do. If you want to be good at baseball, there's no days off. There's no extra work. Going down to the cage and saying, "Hey, I'm going to go get extra swings," that doesn't exist. That's the swings that it takes to be good. There's no extra ground balls. Those are the ground balls you need to be good.
Ooh, I like that. Boy, I like that a lot. Extra early work. No, it's work.
No, that's the work it takes.
That's right. Talking with Coach LaTorre of Pepperdine on the Baseball Forward podcast today. I'm sitting here listening, and I'm thinking that what it's like as a player this time of year. You guys are a week away from opening weekend, and there are guys on your squad, I guarantee you, that are good, projected probably top 10, 15 round type picks, guys. And I remember being in those situations where you're reading the magazines, you're reading not Baseball America anymore, it was back in the day, but do you feel the buzz, the excitement? Do you kind of know, hey, pay attention to this guy, heads up for this? Are there sleepers? Tell me what that feels like this time of year.
Yeah. So I allow our players to have those conversations because I think it's healthy. I want our players to be excited about the season. I think there's a lot more worry and there's a lot more pressure nowadays than it was back when I played, because of the social media and the preseason rankings and just all those things that the preseason media days and all these hype videos and all these things. I just wanted to go play baseball.
Man,
I
me
wanted
too.
to go play ball with my boys. I wanted to be like, oh, we worked so hard. We worked so hard, and we toiled so much in the grind of 6 a.m. weights and the 4 hour inner squads. Like, let's go beat the other jersey. So there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure. So, like, I don't know if you can see my hat,
I
right?
see it. Pressure. Yep.
So there's two types of pressure. You can either apply pressure or have pressure be applied to you. So I felt like the other day, a lot of our players felt like there was pressure on them. Okay. And if you apply pressure, there shouldn't be any pressure on you. So if and we're, like I said, getting back to the culture side of it is, I want to apply pressure as a Pepperdine Wave, whether that's on the mound. We're applying pressure by consistent strike zone,
Attack.
committing attack. We're quick to the plate, so you can't steal bases. We're going to field our spot. We're going to pound the strike zone. On defense, we're gonna be elite at the routine play. Are we gonna make some sweet plays? Yes, we're gonna make some elite. We're gonna make some sweet plays, but we're gonna throw the ball to the right base. We're gonna hit the cutoff man, and we're gonna be suffocating on defense. On offense, we're gonna lead the country in doubles. And doubles doesn't mean that we're hitting the ball off the wall and getting to second base and doing a double celly. Well, like, a double for me is like getting hit by a pitch and reading the ball in dirt. That's a double.
Yes.
A double is a runner on first base. You know that the right fielder's playing shallow or playing deep, and there's a blooper to right field, and you run first to third because you know he's playing deep. A drag bunt, and then you steal second base. That's a double, and that's just applying pressure. And so I felt like there was a little bit of pressure, like getting closer to the season. We're inter squatting. There's some at bats, and there's two ways to go about it. And I touched on both of it. When you're at a school like Pepperdine, okay, there's one way to go about it. Okay. When you have worry, when you have fear, when you have doubt, cast it on Jesus.
Amen.
He died for our sins, and he doesn't want us to play this game and use our platform of baseball and playing out here in front of fans and be worried about the outcome.
Wow.
So cast your worries on him. Okay. The second thing, and I challenged our position players to this yesterday. Okay. And I challenged them to say, what if you took your own outcome out of it and you just tried to be the most RBIs for your teammates as possible this year?
Mm.
What if you tried to make the most assists on defense for your pitchers as possible this year? What if you tried to get our starting pitcher to be 15-0 this year? What if you tried to get our closer to have 10 saves this year?
Mm.
I guarantee you that your stats will be what you want them to be at the end of the year.
Heck yeah, man.
So you try to take the pressure out of them because you change the lens that they're thinking. That's the mental side.
You know what's really cool hearing that is I heard something really cool a while back, and it said if you're feeling negative about yourself, if you're feeling down, or you're feeling you're depressed, go serve somebody. Quit making it about yourself. Quit making it about your
Amen.
feelings. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Yep. Yep.
It
100%.
is where you guys. I'm curious. Like just being at Pepperdine. Is there a buzz around campus? Are the baseball players big men on campus? Do they know that? What's the dynamic of the baseball players on campus at Pepperdine?
It used to be like that. It's not like that anymore.
Wow.
It's not like that anymore here, and I want to change that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing pictures, and we have pictures down in our offices of this stadium over here filled up. There was regionals held here.
Yeah.
Um, you know, um, this is a great venue to come watch a game. Um, so there's things that we're working on. I think in the near future, I'm hoping that we can have a Friday night game where the sun's setting out there in center, in right center field, and right now we're playing games at 1:30 in the afternoon. Guess what? There's classes, and there's traffic. There's LA traffic. There's a lot of there's a lot going on here in LA. So if we can somehow get night games, I think that's a game changer. But I think there's things, I don't think a lot of people want to come watch, teams, especially home teams, lose. So I think we need to start winning some baseball games, and I think that buzz will come back around. I think we need to have interest stories. I think I think our players need to be interesting. I think our team needs to be winners. I think we need to walk around campus like winners, and I think we need to hold our chest out tall and our shoulders back, and walk around this campus with a little bit more, a little bit more than what has gone on here in the past. And I think that's just spreading our gospel of baseball, and how we use baseball as a tool to glorify God. And it's changing here, and it's going to take some time, but I think we're going to start packing this place back out, because I do think that baseball was a big man on campus type deal here in the past, and I think we're going to get that back here pretty soon.
When you go out to practice today, Coach LaTorre, I'm a nobody,
Yes, sir.
but you tell them Ross Hawley said,
Yeah.
hey, you're freaking Pepperdine. Get it figured out and do it. Like, hey,
Yes, sir.
let's go. We're Pepperdine. Let's
Yes,
go. Because that means something to you and it means something to me. And I'm
Yes,
like,
sir.
I want those dudes playing their tails off, and I know that they can, and I love the leadership. Talking with Coach LaTorre of Pepperdine University today on the Baseball Forward podcast. Hey man, so baseball forward, our
Yeah.
MO is elevating the next generation. Man, there's so much
Yes.
negativity going on in the world of baseball, and I'm not even going to get into the names, but you're wrong, you're right, you're not right. It's so growth, because baseball is just such a beautiful game, and there's beautiful people in the game. I mean, this is an amazing conversation, and I feel like there needs to be more of it. So baseball forward is elevating the next generation of ball players and coaches. So when I say elevating the next generation of ball players, what comes to your mind?
Paying it forward. And not having to be right. I think as a coach, it's okay to say I don't know, but I'm willing to do the work to find out. I don't think it's okay to just make stuff up and try to learn something on the fly. Um, I think the days of, when I was younger of I'm going to do something because my coach told me to is long gone.
That's right. Wow.
I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen. There's too many the youth is pulled in too many different directions with too many voices. I don't know how we fix it, but I think parents have to almost put on their um, reality and common sense goggles, I guess.
Sure.
Um, we don't have to complicate this game. I think we're complicating it too much to the extent of, back little league for me, and I didn't take a lead, and you're probably the same way. Like, we didn't learn how to take leads in California until I was 13 years old.
Wow. Wow.
So I was playing little league baseball until 13 years old.
Yeah.
So little league was no leads. So pitchers were only worried about throwing strikes. We didn't have to worry about picking over. We didn't have to worry about box. We didn't have to worry the
Wow.
pitchers were only worried about throwing strikes.
That's right.
Base runners, you were only worried about if the ball got past the catcher and then moving up to the next base, or maybe worried about, pop flies versus ground balls.
Sure.
And there were steps in the process. We've got 6U, 7U, 8U, and all they're worried about is winning these games and steal, like a walk, steal, score on a wild pitch. Like, there's no baseball being played.
Agree.
It's all it is now is whoever can make the least amount of mistakes. That's not baseball.
No.
The way that you develop in this game is that you simplify it down to how can we create the most success? Because if you're swinging and missing or not swinging at all and you're just walking because your coach is giving the take sign because you're going to walk and then you're going to steal 3 bases and you're going to score just to win a game, like, that's not fun. I had fun playing youth baseball because I was competitive and I didn't want to walk to school the next day with my friends saying, ha ha ha, we beat you.
That's right.
And 2, I wanted to be like Ken Griffey Jr. I wanted to be like Roberto Alomar. I wanted to be like Will Clark. I wanted to be like Robbie Thompson. I was watching, like, I wanted to like emulate these big leaguers. And it was something of a just a competitiveness, but it wasn't, it was free. It wasn't, I have to have this perfect swing. All it was trying to do was just hit the ball.
Yep.
It wasn't so complicated with all these mechanical things. Like, guess what? When you're from age 9, probably 9, and maybe even younger, up to 16 nowadays, you could go from being 5'8" to 6'2" really, really quickly.
That's right.
You can have the best swing ever and grow 4 inches and then not even know how to swing like that anymore. How about we just go out there and play and have good bat to ball skills?
Yep.
And go out there and be able to throw strikes, and go out there and be able to, be quick enough to the plate when you're 13, 14, 15 and you're in high school, and go out there and be able to field a bunt and know why the bunt is good. Why is a bunt a good play? Why do we need to have a first and third play? Why do we need to make sure that, why is a safety bunt? What is West Coast baseball? Why is West Coast baseball the only, like, why do they call it West Coast baseball? Those are the things that we should be teaching. So those are the things that come to mind when you tell me, what that means to me is, like, how can we give knowledge without overcomplicating?
I think a lot of coaches out there, by definition, coach, fix, help, whatever, right? And I think a lot of coaches, especially at the early ages, and I think they're well-intentioned, so this is not a knock on them, but I think
For sure.
they feel like they need to teach. And I heard this from my partner, Jim Schwanke, LSU, 3-time national champion. And he said, reps. How do I coach them? Hey, reps. That's it. Go like hit it, catch it, throw it, hit it, catch it, throw it, reps. But I'm listening to you and like there's a purity to playing the game. And there's, in my opinion, as a former player and coach, there's nothing more satisfying than watching a beautifully played baseball game. And a beautifully played baseball game is when you got two pitchers throwing strikes, you got no errors, you got quick tempo, you got good quality at bats, right? People making plays, and it's probably 3-2, 1-0, whatever it is. But
you don't notice the umpires. You don't even notice the umpires.
That's right.
You know what I mean? The parents aren't yelling at the umpires.
That's right. And it's refreshing because I know this. Hey, like Pepperdine is in good hands, my friend. And
Thank you.
And what's really cool to have this conversation with you is Pepperdine needs that because Pepperdine needs to be relevant on the West Coast. You talk about West Coast. When Pepperdine's relevant in college baseball, I think of this. This is what I think of. I think of Long Beach State. I think of Fullerton. I think of Pepperdine. Dogs, dirt bags, get after it, grinders. And then that translates to success at the highest level, and not just on the field, but it's off the field. I want a few more questions with you here, Coach LaTorre.
Thank you.
I specifically to youth coaches. So let's just say this: you're coaching at the highest level of college baseball, and to the guys that are out there coaching 8 to 18, what is your advice for those guys?
Don't try to do it all by yourself. A. 2, have a plan. Don't try to go into a practice and just say, "Oh, we'll figure it out." I think having a plan is really, really important. And utilize, like, you don't even have to have like a baseball coach to just have someone around to roll a ground ball or just man a station. I think it's good to have people like just, a mom that's just down there just to make sure that the kids aren't, just make sure that they're focused.
Sure.
But having a practice plan and giving the players the focus to say, "Hey, here's the plan, and we're going to stick to it." I think one of my biggest faults is, you have on the practice plan that you're going to do bunt plays today, and the bunt plays aren't going very well, so you keep doing it and keep doing it, and you go way over time, right? When really you probably should have just stopped and moved on to the next thing. So like really stick to the plan. And so you can do that at age 8 or at the high school level, and just really stick to what you want and what is important to you. And I think if you create an identity for your team on what you think is important to you, your players will know what that is. And they will work on it. If it's important to you to play defense, don't go out there and just hit batting practice and then complain that you guys aren't playing defense.
Oh, that's so basic, but it's missed.
Of course, you don't complain. Don't complain when you spend all day working on defense at practice and then you get no hit and be like, "Oh, we can't hit." Like that doesn't. There's no. You got to have some feel with that stuff. So have a plan. You don't have to do all of it all at once, but write out your weeks on what you're doing for practice. It's really, really tough, especially when you have, there's a lot of volunteers out there. It's a selfless, thankless job to be a youth coach. There's a lot of people out there that are doing this as their full-time job. I know that too. But if you can have a plan, if you can know your personnel and what they need on a given day, but like you said, it's reps, ground balls, and let them figure it out. Let them do the motion of fielding the ground ball. Don't give them so much to think about. Say, "Hey, I want you to try to hit a line drive up the middle. What do you feel like you need to do with your body to hit a line drive up the middle?" Because guess what? No matter if there's nobody on base, runners on first and second, bases loaded, no matter what, the best thing, if you're doing a hit and run, if you're doing any type of situational hit, the best thing you can do is hit a line drive up the middle. And if you can do that, then If you're a little bit late, you've got a line drive the other way. If you're a little bit early, you've got a line drive to the pull side.
I love hearing that. So I'm going to be selfish right now. At my 11-year-old sons, I got an 11-year-old, 10-year-old. They both play 11U, the frozen ropes.
Yeah.
We won't talk what we have to pay for this, but first practice is tonight. Okay.
Sweet.
So I'm helping. I have a friend who's coaching, former AAA guy, very similar to your career, actually.
Great.
But I'm dumb. I don't know how to coach these kids. Coach LaTorre at Pepperdine, Division I. What would you do with an hour and a half practice tonight? First practice for 11U.
First thing that I would do with them is I would set a stretching routine. I would have a 10-minute stretch routine where they would get mentally ready for practice. Hey, I need you to lock in for an hour and a half. That's all we're doing today is we're locked in for an hour and a half. That 10 minutes is getting them locked in.
Okay.
The next thing after that is 100% base running.
Ooh.
Base running. That's when they're focused. That's when they're right there. We start every practice at Pepperdine with base running.
Really?
Whether it's home to first, whether it's leads, it's base running.
Wait, explain that. So I've never heard that before, and I love that because they're the most locked in. And explain that.
Base running is the most under-teached and underutilized part of the game. It can win and lose you games.
Wow. Okay.
It's whether it's if you come watch us play, all of our guys take the same lead at first base with a little bit of adjustment based on individual preference and who's on the mound. If you watch us at second base, we all take the same lead based on the number of outs and who the guy is on the mound and who the personal guy is. We round the base, just little things like that. We will run ball and dirts. We will have. I want our guys. Good base runners do not need base coaches.
That's right.
And you don't need to be fast. I was not fast, but I was one of the best base runners that you would ever want to play with. It's important to me. Just like I just got done talking to you, like what is important to me is base running. So we talk about it every single day.
Okay. So
it's going to win it. It's going to win this game.
So we got the stretch routine. We've got the base running. Then what do we do?
Play catch with a purpose. Play catch with a purpose. In order for them to know and learn that they obviously the best part of practice is hitting. Would you agree?
Yes. It's fun.
Okay. So in order for them to earn the right to go hit, they have to be able to play catch. You have to be able to get 3 outs before you earn the right to go hit. So
that's gold, baby.
So
I love it.
So you have to set the tone with playing catch. And it's important that they play catch with their position groups. Now, you obviously are at a younger group. They might play different positions. Here we have outfielders and infielders. I love setting it up to where whatever you're working on that day. So if we're working on cuts and relays that day, when they get out to a certain distance, like they're going to work on their relay footwork. And then the ball, they'll be like this. They'll have the ball in the glove. They'll turn and throw. And then their partner will almost be like the tag. They'll go and they'll tag as if we're doing cuts and relays. And so like the last 3 or 4 minutes, like for that, like catchers will throw like short hops and long hops to each other in preparation for team defense that day. So the outfielders will put a ball behind them. They'll pick it up and throw it in as if they're getting themselves prepared within their catch play.
Dude, that is so good. That's like functional catch. Like, hey, I'm an outfielder. Why am I not practicing my outfield throws? I'm an infielder. Why am I not practicing my infield footwork and throws?
Correct.
What else?
So after catch play, I think it's really good to do individual defense. So like you create a habit of the infielders going and doing some type of activation with their hands, their footwork, whatever you guys believe in. Infielders, this is the footwork drill that we're going to do. This is the hand we're going to do. Catchers, I always think it's important that catchers throw with their gear on just so they get used to it. But they can just so the other thing is when they get done with catch play, you can just transition right into individual defense, whether it's blocking, throwing, receiving, whatever you got it. So you can transition right into it. It's important to make sure that the transitions are clean because you only have an hour and a half. And then the outfielders go with the outfielders, and you can work on ground balls coming through it, pop flies, whatever you guys are working. It could be 10 minutes, it could be 15 minutes, it could be 5 minutes, whatever you allot for that day. If you have team defensive stuff, if you're taking infield, outfield, if you're working on bunt plays, I mean, I guess you're 10 and 11-year-olds. So, just pop up communication is always important.
Pop-up
So
priority.
if you guys are working on that, and then get to the bats, but they have to earn it. They have to earn the bats. They have to earn the bats.
I love that. I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we're done. Coach LaTorre,
Yep.
Pepperdine University, on the Baseball Forward podcast today. Boy, you have a fire for baseball. I want to know, why do you love baseball so much, man?
It's given so much to me. If you would have saw me play in high school, you would have never thought that I would have played college baseball,
Wow.
Division I baseball. You would have never thought that I would have played professional baseball.
Wow.
If I would have going back to my junior year, if I would have gone to a showcase with a wood bat, like I would have not put the ball out of the infield.
Really?
I did 100%. Like I was a scrappy middle infielder that had a good arm and I had good instincts. I obviously have a knack for the game of baseball. I was competitive. I got to UC Davis. There was a 2-day tryout. The coaches kind of knew who I was, but they had a 2-day tryout, and for some reason they saw something in me. I changed from being a shortstop to being a catcher. It also helped that I was a left-handed hitter. So I got an opportunity. I got an opportunity, and UC Davis gave me an opportunity to, play. It was UC Davis was Division II my freshman year, and then we transitioned to Division I.
Yep.
And I had a magical senior year. Back then, the Big West was real deal. I mean, Long Beach State had 3 big leaguers on the weekend. They had Troy Tulowitzki at short and Evan Longoria at third and Danny Espinoza at second. Fullerton had Ricky
Justin
Romero and Justin Turner was at second. I mean, it was a joke. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo had 3 big leaguers on their
Wow.
it was a joke. So I had a magical year and got an opportunity to sign. And so baseball has given me so much and taken me across this country. And it even gave me an opportunity to get my dual citizenship with Italy. And I got an opportunity to play on the national team with Italy. I played in the 2013 World Baseball Classic.
How cool is that?
It's awesome. It was really cool. And so I've met so many people. I have so much to be thankful for in this game. And now I just want to pay it forward with giving every opportunity to share what I know with this game, but also with what this game has given me on the life side.
Wow. I'll tell you what, man, I'll end this podcast with this. Like, I think I'm a decent knower of people. Man, you have it. You have
Thank
it.
you.
And I want to say this to you because I think it's important to tell people how you feel. There you have it. Those players are lucky to have you as a coach, and I hope that I think you do. I hope you realize that you're living a freaking dream, man, because you're the head baseball coach at Pepperdine University, and the energy that I'm feeling from you is it feels to me like you're just floating around, and I hope that you continue to float around. I hope you win a national championship, and man, what a joy to talk to you. Take us out, and then I'll hit the end button.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything. To be at Pepperdine, to be at a place like this, to be at the helm of a program like this, to coach players that I come in contact with, it's a dream come true, like you said. And for all those people that know about Pepperdine and want to know more about Pepperdine, reach out. I want to talk about Pepperdine baseball as much as possible, so reach out.
Let's go. Tyler LaTorre, Pepperdine University. Thank you very much, sir.